Hey everyone, so quick video on the BTC dominance chart on something that no one else seems to be talking about at the moment, okay? So, if you like the video, go ahead and give me a like down below, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get straight into it. So, one thing that we can see on the BTC dominance chart at the moment, okay, is we've also been hanging out at this sort of 40% level, but really, what no one seems to be talking about is if we are at a market cycle top, okay, or maybe when we do get there, we would expect to break the low that we had of 2018. Okay, obviously nothing has to happen. Okay, but this is information that I think is important. Okay, and this time around here in 2018 at the start of the year, if you were around there, was the sort of euphoria where people were basically saying only up, and people were just buying anything, any old garbage, and it was just everything was just going up like 200, 300, 400, 600%, right? So we haven't actually seen us retest this low or even or breach it, which is where we want to be in order to give us an indication of market cycle top. Considering that we've actually got more altcoins in the space, more money in the space, more institutional investors, and we're further along in the adoption cycle and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so that tells us that if we are at the top, we would expect to see higher peaks, or should I say lower lows on the dominance chart, and basically more dominance asserting to all of the altcoin space. And we still haven't seen that, even though we've seen mega big moves in things like Cardano, Ethereum, and all of the other coins. Okay, and that would give me more confidence that we're at the cycle peak. Okay, which I obviously don't think we are at the minute, as I've sort of discussed in a few of the other videos. What I think is most likely is basically two scenarios here. So the first scenario, which I think is the more likely, is that we basically break out of this pattern over here, and BTC does lead us out of the next wave up, okay, in the cycle, and the money will typically flow into all of the other projects and the coins, and you start with the high caps and mid caps, and then you finish out with the small stuff like the small garbage and the meme coins like Doge, Sheep, all of that sort of stuff. Okay, that's typically how it works, and this time should be no different. Okay, people always seem to think that, like, oh, you know, maybe like BTC isn't really doing much at the minute, it's looking pretty dead, we're not really going anywhere, all the money is basically going into all the other projects. But typically money always rotates, and that's typically how it works. Like, we've always had those sort of cycles, and I expect the same to continue moving into the next phase, probably into Q1 next year, because I'm expecting BTC to reverse pretty soon. So I'm not sure exactly where we actually reverse up to, but I do think that Bitcoin is the better hold at the minute. Okay, but I think we move up to some sort of area. I don't think we get up to about this 70% region where we got up to previously, but I do think that we can get up to about a 55 to 60% BTC dominance, somewhere in that range, where we've seen reactions before. Okay, somewhere over here. Okay, and I've just marked this out as a zone. Okay, to get maybe that if you are quite BTC heavy like me, and you're actually holding, and BTC does end up going out and up on a run, or if dominance does get up to here, then it's a good time to switch to altcoins anyway. Okay, so this would be a good point to reverse positions, and then we make the move down. Okay, that's how I'd be looking at it. This region is also of this impulsive move, the in and around the 618, okay, and the 0.5. So that does give me a region to be targeting for the BTC dominance, and yeah, and that's basically the way that I would be looking at it. Sometimes these patterns can take a little bit of time, and they can frustrate and take a while, and people just basically get bored of them. But you know, if we can form some kind of W out of this pattern, okay, that would be pretty bullish and impulsive for the dominance chart. and then maybe BTC can kind of get on its bike and head on its way up, and then we make that impulsive move down. So maybe I'm just speculating that BTC maybe makes its run to, let's say, 150, 120, 100k, maybe even 200k, something like that, and that process probably gets dragged out for quite a while, and you know, and then we get that sort of switch into the smaller cap coins. Okay. The second scenario, and what we would really want to do is break this low, and that would give us some sort of impulsive indication to me that we're at the market cycle top. So we can use it a lot. That should be in confluence with quite a lot of other indicators. Should that happen, because if we break this low over here, okay, that's basically going to mean that all the money is in extremely high risk taking environments. Okay. And over here, basically, everyone is speculating on every other project that you can possibly think of. So that's the first most likely scenario. Maybe we don't go that high. Maybe we go up to 50, 55. But what I am trying to tell you is that we essentially break out of this pattern to the upside, form some kind of W, and BTC takes the reins for a little while, and then we move down. The second scenario is that we move straight down from here, which is the least likely scenario, okay? And then essentially what happens there is there's two scenarios. Either altcoins just go completely bananas right now, or in the coming months, or pretty soon, and we just break down from this pattern, or BTC can continue to obviously trend up, but the altcoins basically gather pace a lot faster. But I do think that this scenario is less likely. I don't think that we're quite there yet. Hey, look, anything's possible, but I do think that given how BTC has been slammed, and there's not been a lot of attention on it over the past few, well, since most of the year, to be honest, since March, and start of the year, when we've had this breakdown, actually all year just been in a decline, I wouldn't be surprised if BTC does gain some traction and gain some ground on the other coins. Okay, so we want to break this low. That gives us that indication. Maybe we get to like a 30% dominance, somewhere in that range. That gives us an indication that we're close to some sort of peak, and I would expect that to be in confluence with other indicators at the time. And then you'll get that sort of sentiment of absolutely like massively bullish sentiment, and high risk taking environment. And then eventually the rug gets pulled under you, and that's where we finish out the market cycle. As soon as we expect the market cycle to extend, into 2022, so it does give us some time to do that. So yeah. So if you like the video, go ahead and like the video. Let me know what you think down below where we're headed. Do you think the BTC dominance chart is anything to look out for? If yes, great. Let me know what you think. Peace out.